One. Hello, loyal fans. Yes, I lamely forgot to turn on the music, but you know what? My technical skills just suck every week. Something new. So we're back. We're back. You probably thought you'd never see us again after week one. I was pretty sure I didn't want to be seen again after week one. We decided we couldn't get it aligned last week. Our good man Paco, he was off on a cruise, drinking heavily after the Vikings game. Brother Steve, who, if you haven't known this, is secretly a Vikings fan. He was happy last week, jerk that he is, but he is off with his family on a amazing trip to Alaska. So we wish him the best. Hope they're having a good time. And we'll catch up with him next time, even though his Vikings had a heck of a day yesterday. So maybe they are more than what people think. Anyway, so the good news of last week was Lucas and I got to share time as father and son at the stadium. We haven't done that in 6 years. It had been a while. And we did it with some field passes. So this is now, how many times you've done it now, pal? How many field passes?
It's been three. Funnily enough, the first two times were both against the Saints.
I think it's been four because we were there with Detroit with Paco and his mom.
Detroit, you're right.
Yeah, right.
You're right.
That's the only time you guys did it together, though, right? That one time.
Yes. When my mom went.
And then, Drew, weren't you there? Wasn't it the Carolina Odell game? Was that a field pass game too?
Yes, it was. That's when the Panthers had the black bats out.
That's right.
Pre-game,
That's right.
They were threatening them.
And you got to witness that up close and personal, right? Wasn't that a beautiful thing?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, remind me, who was the D-back that he was having the tussle with?
Mr. Norman.
That's right. Good old Josh. Yeah. Good times back in the OBJ days. So, anyway, well, first, just to share with you people a little of the positive, right? I want to share a little video that I took. Oops, it's showing up on my screen here. I didn't want it there just yet. Takes a minute because, like I said, I'm technology challenged, and now it's blocking my face. This is what happens when you let the old man do the technology. Well, now it's playing on my screen, but there we go. You guys probably can't even hear it. So hold on. I know I have to share it. Because I'm not that lame. I use Zoom all the time for my work. Yes, I do work. We're going to share the sound. We're going to share the video, and then I'll lamely pull it into view here. All right. Oh, see? That was dumb. Okay.
Well, we won't.
You know what? I'm going to do it this way. It's just on the screen. You guys can't see it, but that's okay.
We didn't want to see that.
No, you'll see it when you watch the show. So here's the point of view on the field. It's pretty awesome, I must say. This is how close we can get. They're right in front of us. Not a bad gig if you can get it. So that was that video, which again just shows you guys the perspective on the field. But let's go to, and you'll love this. We did some pregame predictions. It's a 1-minute video down on the field. And I'm going to let them speak for themselves, and then we can comment here. So, and I need to do it where, hold on, why isn't this? Yeah, I'm the worst at this. All right, so hold on. You guys can't hear it, can you?
I can hear it.
You could hear Uncle Steve and me talking? Okay.
It had just started. I don't know if he had stopped it.
Yeah. So, because you need to hear what we say, because it's pretty bad. All right, I'll turn the volume up on it, and then you'll hear it better. Here we go. All right, so.
Pain.
So what's the prediction? Pain.
These teams are very similar in a lot of ways.
All right, these teams are very similar. Not true.
Questions at quarterback, improving offensive lines, lots of skilled players, defense is a complete mystery, but full-time lines, but everything else is a crapshoot.
All right, so, maybe pregame that was fair assessment.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be the fool. I'm going to say DJ throws for 300.
DJ throws for 300. What the heck was I smoking? Oh my gosh. Oh my god. That is horrible.
Good crack.
Absolutely horrible. Does he have 300 now? He has it in the 2 games, right? He got the 300 in the 2 games. All right,
Yes.
let me continue
Yeah.
so you can hear the score.
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. Well, okay, he got that yesterday. I was off by a game.
Win 24-17.
24-17 was my prediction. I'm gonna
My
go.
prediction is if Darnold has no turnovers, the Vikings win.
Okay.
He's
How
right.
about you? Give me
Here
your
comes
prediction.
Lucas.
I'm gonna go 2017 Giants.
Anything within that?
How the league neighbors touchdown.
All right.
All right, so did you catch that? He said 2017 Giants.
At
Wrong.
least I was low scoring at least, you know.
It's all right. You were much better than me. And you said neighbors touchdown. You were only off by a week.
Off by
So, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I'm only going to make a few observations about that game because it was so horrible. But the worst part about it, and it's funny because I've had a tendency when they're in our end zone, because we're very close to the field, to pull out and do video. Typically, I don't do it when we're backed up to the end zone because I don't want to see it. Thank God I didn't do it this time because the pick six, I felt like everybody knew it. Sitting there in the stands, all of us. And he threw it anyway. Like, it was just soul crushing. And it was 20 yards in front of us. So, anything you boys want to share about it, I'm going to shut up for a minute. The Vikings game. Start there. Just 2 or 3 points. Yeah, game 1 first.
Well, it was horrifying. I will say, defense should get more credit for game 1 because there was 2 very egregious calls against them that kept drives alive, especially that pass interference where Jordan Addison mugged Adore Jackson, and
Yeah.
he got the call, and and everyone in the stadium was like, "This guy just took his wallet and keys." But other than that, it is what it is. Neighbors look good that one too, like, you know.
Definitely agree. Definitely agree. Baco, go ahead. Give us your take as a person who watched it on television, because it is a very different perspective when you're at the game too.
It was the first game where I was like, wow, in a long time, the offensive line actually looks pretty solid. The run game had looked good in certain aspects, like they were getting a couple of yards a pop. It looked positive. And then to see that Daniel Jones somehow still ended up in pressure, even with good protection, just showed how bad he was in the pocket and those sacks that he took.
Yeah.
So it was like we have the offensive line for him now. There's no more excuses. Can't use that as an excuse anymore. And then the thing that I picked up on most of the game was there wasn't any type of deep threat throughout the whole game. Everything was short checkdowns, little screens, little dumps. It was so predictable in true Giants fashion.
Yeah.
We're 3rd and 10, we throw an 8-yard pass, and it's short every time. So it was the same old stuff that we've seen for so long. It was so frustrating. And to Lucas's point, the defense looks solid, but you can't be successful when you're on the field for 90% of the game. It's hard to do that.
Yeah.
It's tough to watch.
Agreed. And you know what's funny too is, you know how it feeds in that stadium, any stadium, right? But especially when you come off a bad season and you come in hopeful, and good old Sexy Dexy gets that sack early, and you're like, yeah, here we go. And that was pretty much the high point right there. That was it.
They all came crumbling down.
Like there was really nothing good to talk about after that. So, all right, well let's move on from that, because that was just, like I said, tragic. I look at it as preseason game number 4, really. The way, at least offensively, the way we played. That's how I looked at it. Let's go to yesterday. So I want to start with, because I thought that stat you sent this morning was remarkable, Drew. So why don't you share that stat first, because that blew me away.
The first team in NFL history to lose a game, scoring 3 touchdowns, not giving up any touchdowns, and having the lead, I think, in regulation or something.
Yeah,
of
it
that
was.
nature.
They didn't lose in regulation. I guess somewhere along the line, someone must have lost in overtime that way, because they put that
Yes.
qualifier.
So to happen in regulation, yes. and to still lose.
Yeah.
And just the icing on the cake was knowing that a similar situation happened to us last season,
Yeah.
and to think it was going to happen again, and knowingly going into the week knowing that Graham Gano was already having some injury issues,
Yeah.
and they didn't even think to have a backup plan in place is just salt in the wound
Like
at this point. So
it's
to
almost
lose a game that way, it's just
Well,
it
we
would
lost
almost go
now
ahead.
we lost back-to-back years that way. How do you not learn from yourself doing
Yeah.
making that mistake?
And it's almost like, most teams don't dress three quarterbacks. Like for 1 week, don't dress DeVito or Locke. I don't care which one, and dress a second kicker, right? In that situation. I mean, have an insurance policy. And yeah. Although it would be interesting to see, would DeVito have been the holder? Like who was going to be the holder for who held on the extra point? I didn't
Probably
see who it
Locke. It
was.
was Locke.
Was it Locke? Okay. Okay. Yeah. And yeah. Anyway, so it was just, and on a play that didn't matter. I mean, it was called back.
just to
call back.
kick you while you're down.
It was terrible.
Someone proposed a rule a while ago where it's like the kicker just runs off the field after he kicks. And someone else jumps on from the sideline. Like you just line up and you just take off up the sideline.
Especially with this new setup, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much distinction.
You're
now
right.
where
There's
the kicker's
such
far back
distance.
enough.
There's such distance that you could actually have all 11 lined up and have him just go off, right? Or
Yeah, exactly.
fine, have someone enter the field as he leaves, right? So he has to get off quickly, but it would give you a safety net too, because now you'd have an athlete back there too. So, because usually when like it was yesterday, I mean, Gano was just trying to save a touchdown, and I'm waiting for the gifts of him getting shot, right? So because it looked like he got shot.
He was like 15, 20 yards behind and it happened. It wasn't like he was next to him attempting to make the tackle. At that point, brother, just hit the brakes and walk off the field. We already know you're dealing with something, so why even try? So,
and he's been a damn good kicker, too. That's the thing. So,
it would have changed the dynamic of the game. It would have.
Yeah.
In some instances, we talked about it. We wouldn't have went on fourth that one.
Well, there was really only one instance. There was one instance late in the game, or in the fourth quarter, I think it was, whenever we scored our third touchdown, when, they were at like the 31 and they went for it, needing, I think, 4 yards, that they would have kicked a field goal. And that led to a touchdown. But they would have kicked a field goal at the end of the game, though, too. Like, there's other times they would have kicked one if they could have, and they didn't have the chance. Now, to be positive, Lucas, what was the stat you put out there this morning?
Oh, it was
Mr. Neighbors.
What? I know. There's only 2 rookies in NFL history that have had a target share of over 65% per game, over 200 air yards, and like over 10 catches, and Tim and Odell. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, here we go again.
special start, that's for sure. In fact, part of the problem was it became so obvious that that by the end they were doubling him, and DJ was still trying to put it in there.
That was going to piggyback off that. He was eyeing him down the whole fourth quarter. I'm just like and that's another. Jalen Hyatt doesn't exist anymore. Mondale Robinson, he had the touchdown, but outside of that, Slayton, those guys, you got all these guys. Yeah, Neighbors is good. He's giving you production, but come on, man, you got to spread it out.
Did we have a tight end catch yesterday?
Oh, no.
I don't think so, right? I didn't see a tight end catch. And that's the other thing, too. And we have been historically bad at covering tight ends. But it bothers me more when it's a first-year quarterback, because that is the pacifier for every first-year quarterback, yet we still let Daniels find a tight end on a couple key plays. It's like, that's where he's going to go.
Not just any tight end, a really, really old Zach Ertz.
Ertz, who's killed us for years. Yeah. I'm sick of Zach Ertz. I liked him better. He was in Arizona. He was out of our division. So, well, I got a couple plays I want to talk about. Like one of them that bothered me has to do with Ertz, where Pinnock, it's 3rd and 4, situational awareness, knock the ball down. He tries to make the pick, and Ertz grabbed it from him. Just knock it down. They're going to punt. It's stuff like that where it's like, come on, keep your head in the game. Don't be a star. Just knock it down. We're going to get the ball. And they went on to score again. And again, I don't know how you let a second game quarterback, you don't force him to punt once. 7 drives, 7 field goals.
The pass rush is it's starting to heat up a little bit, but they're just not hammering it home. They're getting there. They just need to finish the job. I mean, oh, it's so frustrating. They talked us up so much. We're going to have this amazing pass rush, and I haven't seen jack squat yet. Most of the sacks are coming from the secondary. They're not even coming from the D line.
It's true.
And to that point, I think my favorite Giant right now is Drew Phillips. He's the only guy that's flying around. He's laying his helmet on people. He's tackles for loss. Any level, his coverage, everything is good right now. That was the only upside between him and Neighbors yesterday. Were the only good things that I took away from the game.
Indeed.
My issue with the game yesterday is Bowen. Actually, he needed to be more aggressive. His game plan was terrible. They did not throw the ball past, I think, 15 yards the entire game. Why are our corners lined up 10 yards back? Put them right up on them and say, if the rookie quarterback beats us, the rookie quarterback beats us. But make him make throws, put him in a mistake. I don't even care if you don't blitz, but just put everyone up the line and let them know what you're doing. He was too passive. And I know, like, hey, his thing is, well, we have good players, they need to produce. But sometimes you have to take control. And like when Wink would take control, I mean, he almost had too much control. He was a little too much, but he didn't give us anything schematically that gave us an advantage.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely one that got away. And, you know, the third quarter we come out and we're having a great drive, and then Singletary fumbles. I mean, it's just, it was a good drive. And, you know, overall, I mean, I thought it was a quantum leap for DJ, though. Let's be fair to him. That did not look like the same guy as last week. He looked 100% better. He took us on a big drive to get the lead. He's still not running well like I've seen him in the past. And on those deep throws, at least he threw a couple yesterday, but they weren't even close. Like, let at least be contested. We want action, right? I mean, look at the frickin' Chiefs. They do it all the time. Mahomes chucks it up and they get a PI whenever they need it, right? I mean, it happens every week when they're losing. So, but the worst part was Neighbors, who had a hell of a game, tries to run before he catches it. Just secure the ball. Secure the ball.
Yeah.
That won't happen. He's the person.
I agree.
I
agree.
That's like painting this beautiful. You're painting this beautiful painting, and at the end, the paint just splatters all over it. And you're just like, oh man, there goes the game for him. Like it was a tough pill to swallow.
Now, who do you put the 2-pointer on with Slayton? Should he have caught that, or was that on DJ?
I think it's on Slayton. That's one of those ones where, the ball could have been a little bit better, but you got two hands on it.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing, too, that made me just furious. Our 2-point conversion plays are so vanilla.
The worst. Yeah, I know.
It's like if you had dealt with this last year and you went through the game without having a kicker, you would think they would have plays in the playbook to at least be a little bit more advanced than what they're running through their normal drive. Like something to flare it up, a trick play, something to get somebody open. It's so vanilla, and I felt the two times that we tried, it was just a complete waste of time.
Yeah. And on going back to the D real quick too, and I don't have the heart to look this up because I'm probably right. It'll make me want to vomit, but I swear, and it's been 10 years at least, when we are 3rd and 10 or longer, we give it up like 50% of the time. Yesterday was 2 3rd and 13s.
We're better at 3rd and short.
I mean, it's like when it's 3rd and 4, I'm like, we're good. We're gonna stop in here. When it's 3rd and 13, I'm like, we're in trouble. I say it every time. My father-in-law leaps, sits there and laughs at me, and then he laughs even more when I'm right. It's like it drives me crazy. I don't. That one I'll never get. And it doesn't matter who our D coordinator is. This goes back, years. It's bizarre. It is absolutely bizarre. I hate 3rd and more than 10 because I know we are gonna blow it. Anyway, so and one more kind of funny thought I had about it, but and I don't know how many times he was on the field, But if you look at like number of plays for Gillen, because he was on the field a lot, and number of plays for their punter, 0. It's kind of a funny day. He was doing overtime. Like we could have borrowed there. Could you send your kicker over? Like, we used to have, when I was a kid, we'd have a automatic quarterback where you'd play quarterback for both teams. Couldn't we just have one kicker for both teams?
Their kicker was hitting field goals left and right. Just let him line up. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
And they had just signed him earlier in the week. It's not like the guy's been there. They signed him off the street.
Well, we're about to hit the street looking for somebody. I guess we got that one kid that was in camp that we're looking at, but I think we're looking at others too. So
I think they're trying to bring back Randy Bullock, who we had signed last year, who played the last part of the season for us.
Before he got hurt too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just the onslaught of injuries. It's just.
I feel like we're not that injured. We have no offensive line injuries. We have no defensive line injuries.
Knock on wood. I'm knocking on wood.
Shut up.
Knocking on wood.
I'm not.
But to that point, O-line looked great again. He had so much time in the pocket, and we're wasting it. We're wasting it. It's oh my gosh.
The stat I just saw was I think we were like in the first 2 games number 6 offensive line. I think in pass protection, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's a quantum leap. So well, again, let's take a breath. All right, let's hear then. What do we think Cleveland next week?
Deshaun Watson is not what we thought he was going to be, and not who I fear anymore. So, maybe this is
until next week.
Yeah, until next week. Yeah,
real test. Like they have guys on the defense side of the ball.
Miles Garrett is a game wrecker.
He's a bad man.
They have the corners, they have the safeties, they have the linebacker. Like they don't have a good offense. It's gonna be an ugly one again. But
I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair.
It will be under 40 points. Hot bet. There's my bet. I don't know what the under is after. It's under 40. You lock that in.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like. It's Cleveland.
And we're not playing the Cleveland team with Chubb, so it's not like they're going to pound the rock.
No Chubb.
Good old Nick.
Jameis game last week, I thought I saw. Did they let Jameis play? But I'd be scared Jameis, and I would be like, Sean.
Yeah.
Jameis Jameis don't care.
If you get Jameis, good Jameis, that's scary. So I watched that guy win the national championship, and when he's good,
blind and he for 5,000 yards.
Yeah.
And 30 interceptions and 30 touchdowns all in the same season.
Well, at least Dallas got absolutely smoked. That was fun. So. And we'll see what's going to happen here tonight. I don't want to watch the Saquon Barkley show.
I said that to myself. They showed him on Monday Night Countdown walking into the stadium. I'm like,
and he's making it worse. Like I wish he would be an a-hole like Tiki was, but he's reaching out to DJ and being a good guy to DJ. Like he's just a good guy. Like I don't want to not like Saquon. So I'm almost rather not like Shane than Saquon for letting him go.
The malpractice is happening. Okay? It's not good. I'm losing faith very quickly.
Yeah, me too.
They're going to be fighting for their lives here soon. So
yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. Let's put this one to bed. So, we'll see. Next week we'll get back with Uncle Steve. We'll hear about his Alaska trip. We'll try to do another timely show after the game. Hopefully it won't be too depressing. So, all right, gentlemen, have a good week. Love you. Always good to see you. Talk again soon.